Have you ever been asked as an aircraft owner to add one or more individuals or an entity onto your aircraft insurance policy as an additional insured, and you were confused because you really didn't know what it meant? No worries, it's Caleb from Air 101 and we're going to talk about it. So today we're going to be talking about first, what is an additional insured? Second, who may possibly want to be added on your policy as an additional insured? And third, how having an additional insured can affect your aircraft insurance policy. Also, please note that additional insured is usually the same on all liability policies. But today we're going to be specifically talking about additional insureds for an aircraft insurance policy. Number one, what is an additional insured?
An additional insured is an insurance term that refers to a person or organization to whom you, as a named insured, the owner of the aircraft, agree to extend a clearly specified degree of protection under your liability portion of your aircraft insurance policy.
Now that boring part is out of the way, let's get to number two. Number two, common additional insured scenarios. There are many situations that you might be asked to add an additional insured onto your aircraft insurance policy. Some of the more common scenarios in which a person or organization may be requested to add their name as an additional insured onto your policy are as follows. A. An airport owner requires it as a condition of either basing your aircraft at or simply using the airport. B. The owner of a hangar or tie-down area requires it as part of a rental agreement. C. A flight school or flight instructor requests to be added as an additional insured before providing flight lessons. D. An employee uses their own aircraft for business travel, and their employer requests to be added as an additional insured. These are just to name a few situations, so this leads us into point number three. Number three, how adding an additional insured can affect your aircraft insurance policy. Adding additional insureds onto an aircraft policy actually happens quite often. But as an aircraft owner, you need to carefully consider when adding additional insured to your aircraft insurance policy, whether it is necessary to extend your policy coverages to others. You spend a lot of money on your aircraft insurance policy. I know, because I hear about it all the time. But by spending this money on this policy, it makes it a valuable asset for you. But by making another party an additional insured on your aircraft policy, you are, in effect, sharing part of that asset with them. What I mean by this is, let's say that you are wanting to rent hangar space from an aircraft hangar owner, and they want to be named on your policy as an additional insured to protect themselves in the event of a loss. And let's say that your aircraft burns down the hangar that it's in as well as the hangar next to it. Now, if the hangar owner next to you tries to sue you and the owner of the hangar that you have your aircraft in, each for $1 million. So in total, $2 million. Now, if you only have $1 million worth of liability coverage on your aircraft insurance policy, it does not mean that the hangar owner gets $1 million and you get $1 million worth of coverage from your aircraft policy. What it means is this. In this example, in total, you would still only get $1 million. So essentially, you would be out $1 million. And the reason your policy would most likely protect the aircraft hangar owner is because they were named as an additional insured onto your policy. So in the event of a loss, they should be protected by your policy. I hope that wasn't too confusing, but the thing that you need to realize as an aircraft owner is each party does not get a separate liability limit. Although the additional insured may often have a lower liability limit than the named insured, which is part of and not in addition to the policy limit. This means if a claim is paid on behalf of an additional insured, you will have less of the liability limit available from which to pay claims on your behalf than you thought. In addition, any claim covered by your policy, whether made on behalf of you or the additional insured, becomes part of your claims history, which could affect your insurance rates in the future. That is why it's so important to only add additional insureds that are necessary to the operation of your aircraft. And if the insurance company sees that an individual who has nothing to do with the operation of your aircraft wants to be added, the insurance company may deny adding them to the policy as an additional insured. After saying all of this, you might then wonder, how do you actually add an additional insured onto your aircraft insurance policy? If so, you should watch this video right up here. Stay safe, have fun flying, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.